It's Ozark Distillery bourbon whiskey. So let me get some in a glass and then I'll tell you about what I think is interesting about it. All right, so this has already been opened. So this was a gift brought back from Missouri by a hunter who walked into a store, saw this bottle and thought of me and brought it back as a gift. Very thoughtful. I appreciate that. So I don't know the exact cost on this either. Total Wines has it on their website for $31 a bottle, but they don't have any in stock. It's out of stock. Let's do a cork pull. Pretty weak. It's got a pretty weak cork too, a plastic, kind of generic looking cork on it. Just came with like black plastic wrap on the top. But that's not really what matters, right? It's about what's in the bottle, not so much the cork or the bottle itself. Let's get some in a glass. So what I think is interesting about this whiskey is after tasting it the first time, it's very oaky. It has a lot of wood flavor, almost like a double oaked. I've explored some double oaked whiskeys on this channel. So this one though says that it is aged under 4 years in American oak. So because of the amount of oakiness and woodiness on this bottle, I did a little research on this as well. And it turns out that I think they aged this product in smaller barrels, like 15-gallon barrels instead of 53-gallon barrels. When you do that, you get a lot of wood flavor on the whiskey because there's less whiskey to wood ratio in that barrel. So you're gonna get a lot more wood flavor. And I think that's what's going on with this. I think that it may be a little over oaked, if I'm being honest. The price is right, if you can find that. My liquor store doesn't carry it. Here in Pennsylvania, our liquor stores don't carry that. But if you can find it and you like oaky bourbons, oaky whiskeys, you can even smell it on it. You can smell so I think they age these in 15-gallon barrels, and I think that's why you're getting so much oak. I didn't hate it when I tasted it, when we opened it. We opened it to try it. But I mean, if I'm gonna drink, an oaky whiskey, it's gonna be Woodford double oaked or, Peerless double oaked or something that I know is really good quality and doesn't have it's hard to explain. I hope when I take a sip of this, it doesn't have that oakiness on it. I hope it was just the first time we opened it. So a few days ago it was opened. Hopefully it had some time to air out, but I suspect I'm gonna get kind of almost like the best way I can describe it is like a forced oak. It's like a forced oak on it. Let's try it. All right, so it has calmed down quite a bit. It starts like a bourbon with caramel and honey and vanilla. And instead of finishing with that, what I would describe as forced oak, it now finishes like a completely flat cola, like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, whichever one you prefer, but just flat. Not a bad quality for whiskey to have a cola flavor. I really want to like this stuff. It is from a small distillery. They distill their own stuff. The whole process, they use Missouri oak to make the barrels, whether they're 15-gallon or 53-gallon. I really want to like this product and this distiller. I believe the guy that picked that up for me was elk hunting, and they just happened to go into what I'm assuming is a liquor store, obviously a store that sold liquor. I don't know what Missouri's liquor system is like, whether it's all privatized or it's like mine and it's a shitty state-run thing. I'm sure it's not. There's no worse place than Pennsylvania. This Gurkha is on par for the last one, same as the last one I smoked. It's just a good quality stick. It has all the characteristics that I really like. Firmness, decent draw, great flavors. A little more on the expensive side, but not really. When you're on par and you can check all those boxes that I just mentioned, and you're a $10 or $11 stick, this size stick, I'm okay with that. It's got a silky smooth leaf wrapper on it. I mean, it is nice. They're usually just one of two ways. Either like this, really smooth like that, or kind of rough like sandpaper. So let's take a look at this bottle again, in case you guys didn't get a good look at it. So it says distilled and bottled by Ozark Distillery, LLC. It's either Osage or Osage Beach, Missouri. 92 proof. So it's got a decent bottle. The bottle is really smooth. The glass is like really, really smooth. It's interesting. It's got a nice, smooth label on it as well. It's not rough. It's not textured. It gives the address. It says it's aged in new American oak barrels from 18 to 24 months. So that was the other thing that was interesting. It's contradictory. So it says 18 to 24 months on the back, but it says aged under 4 years on the front. So really, it's aged 18 to 24 months. So they're not lying. And I don't know why you'd put an age statement on there that says under 4 years. It's an odd thing to do, in my opinion, but I don't make whiskey. And who am I to tell anybody what to do or how they should do anything? It says that we set out to make a bourbon that's smooth with a kick. We think you will agree. You'll forget how good it is until you try something else. So, like I said, I really want to. Dave Huffman is the owner of this distillery, this product. They make other stuff, but not other whiskey. This is the only whiskey they make. I just find it really interesting. I would love to be a whiskey maker for my job. That would be great. It even kind of smells like cola. It's like I said, it smells like honey and caramel and vanilla and like flat cola. Yeah, I'm in shock. That forced oak, that flavor that I was getting from it, the first time I drank it, is gone, like completely gone. And it's a really good thing because it kind of tasted like it was in the barrels too long the first time I drank it. Yeah, the first time I drank it, it just tasted like they were trying too hard, and they either had it in small barrels or, right on the website it says 15-gallon barrels or 53-gallon barrels. That's how they age it. It says it right on their website because I looked it up. Just wanted to have some kind of an idea of what I was exploring on here. A lot of these, nationwide brands that say like a Maker's Mark or something, I'm very familiar with them. I'd never even heard of this one before. It never even crossed my radar. So I'm really grateful to have it, and I'm really happy that it has changed and has sort of turned into something that it's probably supposed to be, as opposed to that. I don't know what was going on. It was really woody the first time I had it. You know, whiskey doesn't change. Sorry, see, I already screwed up my whole thing. Whiskey doesn't age more in the bottles once it's put in glass. It only ages in barrels, but it does change a lot in the bottles. I mean, I'll go back again and talk about it because it was probably the most shocking I've ever seen or had, was the Widow Jane Applewood Rye. It sucked the first time I drank it. When I opened it up, I couldn't believe it. It was a $45 bottle, and the price isn't really the killer. It's just when you get a bottle of whiskey and you don't care for it, that part really sucks. But when you pay $45, you're kind of expecting something special. And from Widow Jane, I was. Wasn't good. It just wasn't. It just had an apple taste to it that wasn't good. It was like a farm apple, like an apple you pick up off the ground at a farm. And it just didn't have a good flavor. I let it air out, give some time. Talked about it in another video after the first time on my channel, and it was fantastic. It was phenomenal. It turned into a candied apple, like that you would get at a fair, like with caramel and nuts all over it. It was so good. It was phenomenal after it got some time to air out. I mean, this has only had a couple days to get some air in it, and it's way different. You know, you do taste things differently depending on what's going on with your palate and in the environment you're in. Sometimes when I'm outside, I can't tell you about cigars so much, but for whiskey, it'll taste different because you're breathing in the outside air as opposed to inside air. There's a lot more going on out here. And there could be a lot going on inside too that maybe isn't good, you know, dust and whatever. So, you know, I really like to, you know, and that's what this channel's about, exploration and learning. And I really like to let whiskeys kind of air out, I'll call it, for a couple days after I try them initially. Because usually I haven't had any get worse. Usually they get better. And this cigar is great. I recommend this, highly recommend this, if you could find these. Yeah, I mean, I looked up some stuff about this too, because I just wanted to know, you know, why it says limited edition, limited release. So turns out it's its 20th anniversary, and they might not produce these anymore. Or maybe they're, you know, it says limited release, limited edition. I believe this cigar was first introduced in like 2010. So it's 2024. It might be gone. These might be the end of them, the last few of them. Which is a shame because it's pretty good. It's got a little bump here that I keep touching. Peel off part of that cap. Yeah, this is a really enjoyable Maduro. Just perfectly made too. I've had some draw issues with those Olivas. Watch that last video I made. It's nothing more disappointing though than a draw issue, in my opinion. You know, I haven't had cigars that don't deliver on flavor that I thought they would. I mean, that Oliva had a weak flavor too, super mild, like a 1 out of 10. But I can handle that. I can deal with that. I can find stuff in it. You get a little nut or something in there, or, you know, a little bit of tobacco, even just something, just the enjoyment of just smoking something. But when it doesn't draw, damn, it's the worst. It's just the worst. Yeah, this is enjoyable. Give me a comment. Let me know what you guys are drinking and smoking. On my last Gurkha video, people did comment on some Gurkhas they've had. Let me know if you've had this one. Let me know if these are available where you live. Because if they are, and I can order some, I might. It's a pretty good stick. Yeah, it's enjoyable. That's like a very typical Maduro. You know, a medium bodied Maduro. It's not crushing you with spice. I get very little spice on my tongue and throat, but it's very pleasant. You know, and you're getting that cocoa powder, kind of a toasted something. It might not be nuts. It could be just like a toasted bark, a toasted tobacco, you know, kind of maybe like a coffee vibe on that thing, you know. It's good. Every time I read the name Ozark, it just makes me think of that show. There's a show, I don't know if it's still on. I watched it, I liked it, with Jason Bateman. I think that's who starred in it. It's pretty good. I mean, that stuff gets a little crazy, but I get it. You're making a show. You got to keep people interested, and the only way you're going to do that is by going over the top and over the top and over the top. So I think I heard that was supposed to come back on the air. You know, this doesn't have anything to do with the show. Just like Yellowstone, which when you say Yellowstone, everybody thinks of the show. But Yellowstone whiskey doesn't have anything to do with the show. It has to do with the national park, you know, Yellowstone National Park. So this doesn't have anything to do with the show, but it just makes me think of the show. It's just such an odd thing to say. Aged under 4 years. It's just, usually it'll say, like in this case, it would say, you know, for this profile, this whiskey, it would say aged at least 2 years, not aged under 4. Aged under 4 could be a month. I mean, this could be aged for 10 minutes, you know? I mean, it's a strange, and then on the back it says aged 18 to 24 months. But then their website says something completely different. Their website says the 53-gallon barrels, it's aged 7 to 10 years, and the 15-gallon barrels, it's aged, you know, 2 years or something. So, just interesting. And like I said, I want to like stuff like that because, you know, I like to support these smaller distilleries. Maker's Mark just keeps pumping stuff out that is just so darn good that it's hard not to be a Maker's guy and love their stuff. I love weeded bourbons, and I was at my Pennsylvania store today, and they have a 101 proof, like a special edition 101 proof. Comes in a box. You know, it's not that expensive. I think it was 38 or 39 bucks. You know, and that's obviously they're competing with Wild Turkey 101, you know, because you've got quite a few releases of Wild Turkey 101 the past few years. You have their 12-year release, you know, and then you have this new one, this Jimmy Russell 70th anniversary 101 proof. So that it's like they said, hey, you know, F you, Wild Turkey, we have 101 proof as well. So I almost bought it because I just love their stuff. But there was some other stuff I wanted to get. So, like I said, I usually lean towards sales when stuff's on sale because it's not really on sale. It's just what it cost. It just doesn't have an extra markup, in my opinion. But yeah. Just realized that these two things kind of match a little bit. The bottle and the cigar kind of have the same vibes as far as their label and their band. It's kind of cool. I didn't know if these would go together. I just wanted to talk about that on my channel and explore it again, because I was like, I can't believe this is not gonna be something I like. It just was so woody the first time.